Hello, my name is Julia Carr, and this is my case study presentation number 4. My client is a 5-year-old male diagnosed with autism. His behavior of concern is aggression. We only see aggression at home with his parents, occasionally with his technicians, but primarily with his parents. Aggression is defined as any instance of or attempt to inflict violence on another person, including hitting, kicking, biting, pushing, or spitting at. May also include throwing things at or slamming things into people. An example is hitting mom with an open hand. Another example is yelling and throwing a book at dad. A non-example is throwing stuffed animals at mom during pretend play. He's very creative, very busy, loves making like animals fly and things like that. The hypothesized function is attention and tangibles. He is extremely high energy. And so sometimes if he gets overstimulated, he will also engage in aggression. And the response class is a group of responses with the same function. In this case, the aggression would be like the hitting, the kicking, the biting, the pushing, the throwing. All of those responses have the same function. He is currently in a general ed classroom. He is in like a pre-kindergarten program with about 18 other kiddos in the class. Rule-governed behaviors is a behavior that is under the control of a verbally mediated rule, and it's insensitive to immediate contingencies. So just any random rule, like you have to wear your seatbelt or you have to look before you cross the street. A preschool environment is filled with tons of rule-governed behaviors. The students are expected to raise their hands before talking, to sit appropriately, sit quietly in a circle listening to the teacher, not run, clean up after they're done with an activity, just to name a few. We are specifically targeting hand raising and sitting a circle with the other students. These were selected initially because they are building blocks for just appropriate classroom behavior. Students need to have impulse control and with speaking and engaging with the teacher and sitting on the floor for longer durations and sitting in the chair too, but they're still only 5. So most of their learning is done at circle time on the floor. For hand raising, this is a behavior that all of his other peers are working on as well. The classroom is 4 to 5.5-year-olds, so very early learners. And they're all just learning appropriate classroom behavior. They're learning how to be in a classroom, how to sit, how to talk to other students, how to talk to teachers. So the students, when they all sit in circle time to do their learning, whatever they're learning about that day, I will sit behind the client and off to the side a little bit so he can see me in his peripheral vision. That way I'm not startling him by bumping in and prompting anything. And the teachers have no specific program they're following, but they will occasionally prime the students by saying, okay, raise your hand if you know the answer, or things like that. The teachers also verbally prompt and use gestural prompts. So if all the kids are talking out of turn, they'll say, oh, let's raise our hands, or they will raise their hand to show what the kids should be doing. When we first started targeting hand raising with him, I would verbally prompt him to raise his hand right when the teacher stopped talking, or if he started talking, I'd be like, oh, raise your hand. And then have him wait for the teacher to call on him. I would give him social praise, thumbs up, high five, something like that, if he did raise his hand. And then I was also really reinforcing if he got called on, because he got to talk, which is what he wanted to do in the first place. We then faded to just a tap on the arm if he ever forgot. And he now raises his hand a majority of the time. We had a pretty low mastery criterion because he is only 5 and it's age appropriate for kids to speak out of turn without raising their hand. And sometimes also it's just not an expectation. They'll have the teachers aren't even expecting them to raise their hands. They can all just answer out loud if they know the answer. So he did successfully master out of that program for rule governed behaviors. Thank you for watching.